You need to energize tonight.
I need to sit on that patio and re-energize with a cold Charlie Bukowski.
That's fair.
So here we've got Conrad. He's just starting to install insulators here. And this is going to be our first standoff insulator. We're doing a couple lower down too. You can see the page wire. All we're trying to do here is just keep it tight so that when we put hot wires out here, we're not having them short on this. This is going to be our ground anyway, which is really good, and going to make sure we have a nice strong shock on the bear. What I'm doing here is I'm just wrapping up this barbed wire fence. Generally speaking, barbed wire and electric fencing, not generally a good idea. We try not to be too dogmatic about things, but for the most part, we just want smooth wire for electric fencing. You end up walking these fences a million times, and I'm desperately trying to keep ahead of Conrad as he installs these insulators, and I'm winding up barbed wire.
This spot looks pretty bad. Like, the bear's definitely been climbing over and using this to climb back. But then if you come along here, it's not bent at the top, it's bent at the bottom, which means that bear has been just going underneath and bending it upwards, so. Hey.
Yeah, look at that straight fence line, insulator after insulator.
Looking really good. Nice and clean.
Yeah.
It's all in line, same height.
Pretty happy overall with how this is coming together.
Yeah, looking really good, and we'll get the string and wire tomorrow.
All right, we're on day 2 of the fencing job, which is good. It's going quite well. One other thing that's helped a lot is just the preparation of the fence line prior to our arrival. It's all weed eaten, it's all clean and organized. We're not struggling with that. We're just about to finish off insulators on the orchard fence. Once we have that, we'll start stringing hot wire and probably have this energized fairly quickly, and then we'll move on to the garden fence. We're making an anti-climb thing for black bear. A lot of people say that grizzly bears don't climb trees or can't climb trees. That's not really true. Grizzly bears absolutely can climb a tree if they feel like it. Black bears climb trees primarily just to get out of danger. It's a little less important if you're a grizzly bear, but yeah, grizzly bears can climb for sure. Whenever we're building anything, you know, the assumption is if you can climb it, absolutely a bear easily could climb it.
Grinding.
One thing about building fences, better get used to walking in a circle 50 times. We've done the orchard fence, really happy with the results so far. So the gates, pre-wired, paid a lot of attention just to make sure that everything is spaced well, that there's really no chance of a bear going under or through any gates, as well as over. Fence line's looking really nice. Wires are straight, nice and tight. You can see, like, that's good. And we just put a lot of effort into making sure the insulators are all nice and even. See, this is our wire spacing down here at the bottom. Nothing's really going to go through it, at very low chance of it being dug under, especially if the landowners put these pieces of timber here. We are going to go on to the board fence and work on that now.
The last time he did it in the same spot, because there was a fruit tree with really ripe apples.
Yeah.
This time, there was a few remnants of carrots in the garden, and he decided he had to go through. And it was several years ago that first time.
Oh, yeah.
So the same bear, but 4 years, 5 years apart.
Right.
Major memory.
Something that we often find is, like, even along the electric fence, it's not somewhere where all the fence looks the same that they do something. It's where there's a change. And visually, if something changes, that tends to be where you're going to have an issue.
This is kind of a good example, right? It's an existing fence. This fence in particular is beautiful. Rick's actually cut the fence to match the silhouette and the skyline from the valley around it, so it's really pretty. We're also trying not to make fences look too ugly either. You know, a lot of people see electric fences and they're thinking it could be an eyesore. So we're going to try and go really low impact and just put out insulators on these boards. We're going to keep the board fence as it is. It's black insulators, so they're not going to stand out a great deal. Try and have fence still look nice. It's right on the highway. It's a feature in the valley. I remember seeing this fence the first time I was here.
Part of why we have this, and with the spacing, it's a windbreak for the garden.
Right.
And if it was a solid board, like really close together, the wind hits it and tumbles over top. But when you filter it, letting some go through, it just goes through soft. It makes the garden a little warmer and it doesn't tear over the plants.
This is just kind of cartoonish here. The fair-sized hole in the fence. It's wild. I mean, it was a pretty wide hole.
See what I did here?
I like it.
So you come around, it's the corner, and then there's a drastic difference in the height between here and here. So we're going to come down on an angle and...
Oh, clever, clever, clever.